Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach. He was a
Danny Bonaduce, life coach. We will take your emails, by the way, at lifecoach@KZOK.com. We'll also take your phone calls at 1-800-252-1025. It's Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let's jump to the phones and talk to Larry in Bothell. Good morning, Larry in Bothell.
Hey, Danny, long-time listener, big fan.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, I've been wanting to call you for a while. A while ago, I got a DUI.
Right.
I blew a 1.1. I had an ignition interlock in my vehicle.
Right. For those of you that don't know, that's the thing that the car is demanding, that you blow into a device and you blow under the legal limit, or else the car won't start. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it's a great unit. My question is, I had done a 10-hour shift in construction, was on my way home, stopped at the store, ran in, got a gallon of milk. I came out, and my truck I had flames coming out of both windows.
Right.
And so the incident response, the fire department came, and they had cut the cable to my battery. And all of a sudden, my horn started going off and everything, and they said, hey, there's an alternate power source. Is somebody trying to hurt you? And I said, no.
Anyway, wait a minute, man. Okay. They asked you because of the alternate power source. Was somebody trying to hurt you?
Well, I mean, they didn't know that there was an ignition interlock.
Right, but what did they think it could possibly be? Did they think it might be a bomb?
Well, something of that nature. But, because it was an alternate power source.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, the thing of it is, my horn started going off and everything else, and so in the incident report, it said it started from the ignition. So the company wanted me to pay. Now, they didn't say anything about it, but they wanted $1,800 to pay for this unit.
Right.
Now, my ignition was off. I was in the store, it came out. In the incident report, it says that there's an alternate power source. It started in the ignition. And now they're not claiming any responsibility whatsoever. And now they want me to pay for the unit.
Now, just out of my own curiosity, it won't really change too much. But so how did this get on your car without you paying for it?
They install it. It's like I had a 4-month thing where I had to have it in my vehicle for 4 months. They install it, then they take it out. You pay a monthly fee,
right?
Sort of thing.
So you're paying a fee, much like, say, cable TV. But when they undo it, that's when you pay the whole $1,800.
No. You don't pay for the unit. Only if something happens to it, like, say, if you're in a wreck or, which I didn't know that. But,
see, and it seems kind of fishy to me. You would think it would have insurance. If you're in a wreck, the only thing not covered by insurance is going to be your interlock system. I don't like the sound of it, but I am not here to judge. And if I was judging, I'd be judging those guys. I'm down with Larry. As a matter of fact, normally I'd think, wow, only a 1-1. Not even in my book. You're not even intoxicated at 1-1. But so what is your exact question, man?
My truck sat up there for a week. They didn't even tell me to take the unit out or that they were going to charge me. And then when I go back, because I had to buy a new truck, when I go back, all of a sudden now they have all new units,
right?
Completely different units. And then they tell me, come up with this. I have to, that I'm responsible for $1,800.
Okay, well, you're not. So hopefully that's the good news. The bad news is that once you don't pay, the fact that you were right will not talk about your credit line. Just the fact that you are right. If they go to your credit, if your credit's going to go bad, you have to let them know the reason I'm not paying is because don't give them 1 penny just because you're right. Don't give them 1 penny and expect the money back. They're going to be hardcore about that. Here's what I would do. I would not pay them. I'd let them know I'm not paying, and I would go back, maybe before I tell them I'm not paying, I'd go back to the first responders and get them to be a little more clear on what they believe started that fire. Because right now, with the General Motors recalls and everything, everybody doesn't want to be involved in any of that. So I believe you're not going to have to go to court. Nobody's going to want to go to court, but make your presence known so they just don't start attacking your credit, because you're going to act like this. Here's the way you're going to act. You want them to go after your credit. You want them to be out. This is going to reflect way more against the interlock company than it does somebody named Larry in Bothell. So you have to make them afraid of you, which they should be. But don't pay this. Let them know that you will sue, that you'll get any office memos they got on the Freedom of Information Act, and you'll bury them. And don't be as unpleasant as I just sounded, I'll bury you. But they're going to know that they got bad memos running around. You're not the first guy that happened to, and they know it, and you know it if you stop to think about it. Hey, I'm not the only guy. Why pick me? That's happening to people. Like with GM right now, the recall is the ignition shuts off while you're driving. Well, that happened to 1,000 people before anybody got around to it. I'm telling you, Larry, this has happened to a whole bunch of people, and they know it, and I don't think they want to play hardball with you. So do not pay it. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
800-252-1025. Call that number right now if you've got a question for the life coach. Any kind of problem you have, he's been through it.
That's
and
true.
He's here to tell the story.
Oh, you know what I didn't ask, Larry?
What's that?
What stops getting other people from paying other people to just breathe into that thing for you?
Nothing.
I've always wanted nothing, right?
Yeah.
You got a buddy that's say Larry and I are buds, and he's got an interlock system. You can go, Danny, I know you don't drink anymore. Blow in this thing so I can get home for God's sake.
I've heard stories in like NA and AA meetings of people having their kids blowing them for them.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that too, because I was making a bunch of excuses in my head. And you go, the answer's your kid. And dig this, you're now driving drunk with a kid. That's how insidious alcohol is.
So, again, if you've got a question for the life coach, now is the time to call 800-252-1025 or to email lifecoach@kzok.com. We have an email from Dan in Victoria, BC. He said, I married a single mom about 5 years ago. At the time, she had a 12-year-old boy.
Yikes. Because I'm kind of being serious on this. That when you're about to marry the single mom with a kid, you're already kind of in control, to be honest. She's nervous, to be honest with you. Turns out that kid's now just shy of being a teenager. That's that's a special kind of guy that walks into that and marries it. Good for you.
That is a rough age.
Told you.
Yeah, okay,
Everybody sounded crazy when I yelled yikes.
So this was 5 years ago. He was 12. Obviously, now he is 17. Since then, he has grown into a full speed ahead teenager. He argues about everything.
Yikes. Told you.
Follows no rules. He's been driving me insane. I have a bit of a temper, so rather than getting put in jail for hitting him, I went to Ontario to live with my brother for a while. But I miss the coast. I miss my wife. I miss my dog.
Right. Wow, you're a country song.
Any ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's what I did when I had a hand in raising my children. I don't know that I should have done more of this thing that I'm going to highly recommend to you. But, you wish growing out when they're older, 19 and 13, I should have had a better hand in the growing up and the raising of these young people. So here's what I do. By the time, and I didn't see that much, my daughter just told me, and this is a specific incident in everybody's, the Bonaduce's lives that I will tell you about. My wife came to me and said, Isabella will not do anything I say. I can't get her to go to room. I can't get her to do homework. I can't get her to do anything. And she says, if I touch her, she'll call the police. And she was right. She would have, and it'd have been a big nightmare. So I just went in the room and smashed all her stuff. And I said, go to bed now. I'm going to smash the rest of your stuff. And she went to bed. I'm not recommending that. But here's what, if I'd have calmed down on that, it might have been okay. There's a lot of stuff in a teenager's room that makes their life possible. If it's the internet, the TV, the DVD player, whatever it is, probably all of that stuff. You can just start to shut it down. You can also, and I don't know how you get around with doing this off the top of my head, you can shut down the power in that room so you don't have to go all crazy about taking, all their stuff out and disconnecting it. You can just isolate that room on the panel and shut down the electricity in it. That's off the top of my head. That's what I do. But here's what you got to pay attention to when you do that. I like that idea, but it screams candles. It absolutely screams candles in the kids' room, which screams fire to me. So you're going to have to be really, really careful with that. But that's what I recommend doing in the beginning. Is you either get all the products that you don't like out of that room, the TV, the things that says, my kid will do anything to get these back, or shut down all the power in that room and have an alternate power source, like Larry knows where to get one, have an alternate power source so they can read their books and do their homework, or they can do their homework down at the kitchen table. But that's what I do, because that's what's going on in a teenager's world. That's their world, their room. Get out of my room, Mom. Get out of my room, brother or sister of mine. That's because their whole life is in there. Well, shut down the parts of that they enjoy, so you can do your homework down at the kitchen table. That's what I would do, and they'll jump through hoops to get that power back on in their room.
800-252-1025. Call that number now if you've got a question for Danny Bonaduce, life coach, or email lifecoach@kzok.com. We've got an email from Rick in Tacoma. He writes, is my 60-year-old wife looking for an affair? There are 3 things that have happened that make me wonder.
Uh-oh.
First, she claims taking a week off alone to visit her mother is innocent. However, there are divorced male family friends that she is spending time with while she's there.
I don't like it.
Second, I overheard a conversation with her, quote, mother, and she exclaimed that she is bored because all I do is work and sleep.
And does he not? What do you get from that, Sarah? Do you not? He doesn't believe.
Hear the third.
Oh, okay.
There's more. Third, she'll be with her younger sister who has confided that she's cheated on her husband. So do you think I should be concerned?
Yeah. Is that a real question? Of course you should be concerned. And here's the thing. Let's say you've got a wife that would never cheat, that's not her vibe, that's not what she's going to do. Whether it's foolish or not, I think that about my wife. Amy's not going to cheat. Sometimes I would think, and this isn't something that's really happening in my house. I usually expose myself as much as I can during this segment. This is not one of those moments. This is not going on right now. But I think if I acted like there's no danger in my wife, she'd be upset about that too. You got to let them know that's still a viable sexual human being. Now, I think with all the things you really put out there, she's going away by herself. I don't love it. Now, you said something about she was talking to her mom, and is that in quotes or something? Because the way you read it. Yeah. Wow, you're good at that. I could tell that was in quotes. So he thinks that she's actually talking to the bad guy. And when you come in the room, she pretends real quickly it's the mom. That's dangerous. I don't think I've ever even done that. And I've been a bad guy. I would say with all the math that you gave me about this, that you've got a right to be concerned, but you're always right to be concerned. Don't take your eye off the ball ever. I don't know your wife. I don't know what she's planning on doing. These ideas that you gave me are not the end of the world. But I will tell you this. Take your eye off the ball, and somebody's going to give you a reason to pay more attention. Don't let her feel neglected. If she's starting to feel neglected and wanted, whether it's sexually or just that you pay more attention to her, she'll give you a reason. So I don't like it. I think you're right to be concerned, but let her know I'm concerned. Let her know that you are, actively keeping your guard up, that you're interested and she's a wanted woman. And I think that's what you should do. Or you're just heading for hell in a handbasket. When girls or boys think you're not watching, that's when they'll do something bad.
Yeah, if it says all he does is work and sleep, well, maybe change that.
Yeah.
Maybe just sleeping so much.
Yeah, start sleeping with her. That's my remedy.
Lori in Bellevue, you're on with Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Lori.
My question is, an ex-boyfriend wants to get in touch with me. He's apparently in AA now and has contacted several friends.
Do you know what he's doing?
Alcohol and marijuana.
No, I said, do you know what he's doing by contacting you and your friends and other people?
Oh, apparently it's
the fourth step.
Clean or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's making amends. You got to go around saying you're sorry. And I don't want to get a lot of hassle from this from AA guys, but I've never done it. I've thought about it, mostly with chicks. I owe a sincere apology to women, but I have never gotten around to it. I don't know if it's the right thing to do or not. So you got an ex-boyfriend who's dying to get back in contact with you. Now, do you think it's an AA thing, or do you think there's much more going on?
Right now, it's probably just an AA thing, I believe.
All right, then what's your question for me?
Just whether or not I should give my number to have him call me. I personally don't want to talk to him, but I don't know if
it's in the book. If the person, you do not say you're sorry to anyone who doesn't want to hear it. You have every single right in the world to not want to hear it. So I was going to tell you, give it to him, help the guy out, let him get it off his chest. But no, if you don't want to talk to him, he doesn't completely win everything by the fact that he gets to be a jerk twice. I did something so terrible that years and years later I have to apologize, and I'm going to force myself on the young lady. No, absolutely no, Tori. You have, and he'll, by the way, he's not going to go crazy about it, because also in the rule book that says he has to apologize, same rule book says you can't apologize to anybody who doesn't want you, especially, dig this, you can't go, let's say he come to your door and you have a husband now. He can't do that. That's in the rule books. You can only apologize to people that want it, and so, you're fine to say no. You should absolutely let this guy say no, although, having said that, sometimes it's really fun to watch these people crawl. Well, I'm going to assume, hey, Lori, how big of a jerk was this guy?
Let's just say the police came to the house multiple times.
So here's what it would sound like, Lori. I'm so sorry that I did that thing and all the cops came. It's kind of fun sometimes. You should let the guy do it. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. And he's not expecting you to completely. It's not, again, in the same rule books that you're going to accept. And he's not allowed to be a hassle in your life, so he can get off his chest and apologize. Thank you very much for the phone call. Hey, that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce on Life Coach today. By the way, Life Coach is brought to you by Goldberg Jones and Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.